So good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the fourth day of the Globe Program Regional Meeting for Europe and Eurasia. We are now about 50 people online today. We have students, teachers, coordinators, scientists. So thank you for coming. We have also people not only from our region, but also from other regions of the world. And I'd like to welcome Dr. Tony Murphy, Director of the Globe Program, and also Ms. Lindvik Bells. She's a Globe International Coordinator of the Globe Program, and they will join us for a whole day. So yesterday we had great sessions. We had a session Growing Up with Globe with great presentations of teachers and students. We have seen how students learn with Globe from early age up till to grow up. And then we had a session or discussion and session called Globe is a platform for collaboration. So it was a program from the last day, and for today, you can see the agenda. We have 3 sessions on the agenda. And we will start with students. We will start with the session, Hello, we are Globe students. And first, I would like to welcome all the students who join us today for presentations. And also, I'd like to welcome their teachers who guide them on the way. After the student session, there will be a break. And then in the second part of the program, I will invite you to the Globe Technology update session to learn about more what is on, and the session will be led by David and Cornell from GIO. And there will be time also for questions during the session, so as well. And the closing is supposed to be around 5:15, 17:15 after all the sessions when we wrap up. So it's all about today's agenda. And so I think we can start with the first sessions. Hello, we are Globe students. It will be a combined session of student research presentations, and also we will have some video submissions. And it's nice that we can travel around the world, and students will invite us to their schools and around. We can hear, and students will talk about how they observe trees, rivers, clouds, lakes, soils, and how they take care about the environment around their schools. Some technical information: when presenting, each speaker has 5 minutes, and then there will be time for questions, and also there will be time for feedback, to give a feedback. And we invited Globe scientists to give a feedback to students. And so it's my pleasure now to welcome and introduce you the scientists who will give feedback to students. So let's start with Gunta Kalvane from University of Latvia. So Gunta, can you?
Hi.
Yeah, so thank you for coming.
Happy to be here.
Thank you, Gunta. Then I'd like to welcome Zuzana Lhotáková from Charles University of Prague, Czech Republic.
Hello to everybody, and especially to students. I'm looking forward for your projects and presentations.
Thank you, Zuzka. Then I'd like to welcome Mirela Septić-Perić from University of Zagreb, Croatia. Is Mirela online, or she's not yet? Probably she will join us later. So next, I'd like to introduce you Peter Falcon from NASA.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Peter, for coming. So before we start, again, some technical information for everybody. Each speaker has 5 minutes. I will be the timekeeper, not popular role, but I will do it. And I will let you know when there is only 1 minute left to complete the presentation. So if you have any questions, please post them to the chat. You can do it also during the presentation. And we will bring your questions from the chat at the end when there is a space or time for discussion. Also you can answer the questions later during the chat if there is not enough time. And I'd like to mention, maybe you remember who participated yesterday. We heard from alumni Joseph that asking questions is an important skill. So don't be shy and try to ask questions to the students who will present. So I think we can start with a video. It will be such an opening of the session with the video made by a group of students from Estonia, from Viljandi Gümnaasium.
Tere,
mina olen Johannes.
Meie oleme glooblased Viljandist.
Kliimamuutused on tänapäeval aktuaalne teema. Aga mida tähendab meie jaoks elada maailmas, mis seisab silmitsi kliimamuutustega? Esiteks, tulevikus ei pruugi meil enam olla võimalust treenida sellistes metsades nagu see siin, sest loodus on hävimas. Teiseks, sel aastal sain ma seda mandlit kasutada vaid korra, sest talved muutuvad järjest soojemaks.
Need olid vaid 2 näidet, ent kuidas aitab Globe meil paremini mõista eesootavaid kliimamuutusi?
Esimene viis. Globe saaks teadvustada inimesi teemakohaste loengutega.
Samuti saab Globe harida noori loodusteemaliste laagritega.
Meie oleme kliimamuutuste põlvkond.
See oli meie video.
Täname, et vaatasite.
So I hope you like this video from Estonia that opened our session. And now I'd like to invite the first speakers and to give the floor to students to Slovakia, to elementary school Nová Baňa. It's a students led by teacher Eva Sučanová. Do we have students and teacher? Yeah, I can see them. And this is a very new school, so let's see how they were doing during their first year in the GLOW program. So it's your floor now, you can start.
We are students from...
Yeah, share your screen, it's time.
We are students from class 4B in Jána Zemana Primary School in the town of Nová Baňa, which is located in Slovakia near the center of Europe. We focused on global water observation. On March 23rd, 2021, we observed the transparency of the water in our stream behind the school using an observation tube. It was clear and there were clouds in the sky called cumulus. We took water into the observation tube and observed its transparency. The transparency of the water was 60 centimeters. On this day, we also observed the in the water and on the banks of the stream. It was quite cold outside and it was freezing. We saw small aquatic animals only in the still water on the bank of the stream. Near a school by the stream, they have wild duck nests, which we can observe throughout the year.
We wonder if the water we observed at the stream was really that clear. We took samples from it and observed them in the classrooms under a microscope. Under the microscope, we saw a lot of green and brown algae. During the observation, we saw Ephemeroptera maggot, water spider, and a wild duck. The water is really interesting. We hope that we have inspired you with our observations. Thank you for your attention. In the following period, we will again observe the transparency of the water together and add the observation with measuring the water's temperature. We started our observation last week.
Wow. So thank you so much. Yeah, we can see your poster. Wow.
Observation.
Wow. So thank you so much. Big applause to you and many greetings to Slovakia, to Nová Baňa. Nice presentation. And so I'd like to ask Peter Falcon for the feedback.
Yes, thank you very much. First off, before I begin, love that student's t-shirt, that NASA shirt. That's pretty awesome. I do want to say, before I say anything else, welcome to the Globe family. I know you guys are new to the Globe program, and I know this is probably your first time doing research. I just want to say once again, congratulations. You picked a very difficult time to start making measurements for Globe, but we look forward to seeing more of your research. So great job with that. I also want to say, you guys look like you picked a perfect day to do research. It looked so pretty, even though it was really cold out. It looked like it was some gorgeous clouds. So my question for you guys is, after you're making your measurements, would you say that the water was clean and healthy, the stream by your school?
It was clear.
Thank you. And to follow up with that question, what was your favorite part? Oh, go ahead, continue.
The clearance of the water was 60 centimeters.
So they probably liked going out of the school and just going around the water and looking into the water and seeing a lot of animals and things like that. So they enjoyed it.
Was that your favorite part of making the measurements? I noticed you measured transparency, you measured all the little living critters in the stream and the algae. What was your favorite part of doing the research, other than playing in the water?
The clearance of the water, probably.
It was the favorite part, to observe the water and its pureness and transparency and so. And last week they started measuring temperature of the water too.
Excellent. My next question, the last question, is going to be, what would you like to study next? So you mentioned that already. Perhaps more clouds, or the stream in different seasons, or something different. What else would you like to do?
So their favorite part is water, all the time water. It's next to school, just several meters, and they just like going out and working with water.
Well, oh, thank you. Once again, congratulations on your research. You guys did a great job, and welcome to the Globe family.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Peter. And now there are some time also for questions from the audience. Yeah.
Yes, we have some questions in the chat. So there is a question from Gunta. What is a water temperature right now in your place?
11 stupňov.
11 degrees Celsius.
And the next question is from Sandro from Italy. His question is, did you imagining to find so many animals in water? Did you expect that you will have so many animals in water?
Yes, we were very surprised.
So thank you. So any other questions or feedback to students?
If I can say something?
Yes, you can.
I would just like to thank Nová Baňa students because they're very active, and I really like their complex measurements of the water of the river, and it's great. Also, the English is perfect. I'm really surprised. It's the first time I can hear it. So thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to all the other measurements you will take in your river. Especially, I think will be interesting will be the water quality. When you find so many animals there, I wonder what is the not only the transparency but also the pH or other measurements. So good luck with everything, and hopefully we'll see you again at the conference. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, and good luck. Thank you. So bye. So next we are moving to Croatia, and we will have presentation from primary school from Omiš. And I'd like to welcome the presenters. It's the two students, Anna Stanic and Nadalina Jerčić, and the teacher Tamara Banović. So if you are prepared, you can start.
Hi.
Do you see now the presentation?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Hello everyone, my name is Tamara and I'm teacher of chemistry and biology in primary school Josip Pupačić Omiš, Croatia. I'm a globe teacher too, and here with me are my students Nina and Nadalina, and they will present their work. They use the globe protocol in this research. Last year they were participant in biology competition, and they won 3rd place in Croatia. And now Nadalina and Anna.
The questions we wanted to answer were: what is so dangerous about batteries, and why can't we dispose of them together with other waste? Are they dangerous when they hit the ground? Do substances from batteries affect the plant world and those on other living beings? The aim... One second, please. The aim of this study was to investigate how batteries deposits in the soil affect the composition and properties of the soil, and how contamination by discarded batteries affect the germination and growth of the bean plant. Hypothesis. Yes. We have a problem with our presentation. It wants to change the slide.
We can try sharing the presentation for you if you want.
Just a second. We will try again.
Please try again, and yeah, it works.
First, batteries deposits in the soil will not change its structure and texture. Second, batteries deposits in the soil will reduce the pH of the soil, while other soil properties will not change. Third, in a container with discarded batteries, less bean seeds will germinate than in a container without batteries. And the last, bean plants growing in a pot with discarded batteries will have lower stem growth compared to bean plants growing without batteries.
I will present you the methodology used in our research. The research was conducted from September to December 2020. The first part of the research took place in the school garden, while the second part of the research was performing in the biology classroom at the school. Two stations in the garden have been designated 5 meters apart. On one station, at a depth of 10 centimeters, we put 2 already used batteries, and the other station serves as a control station. Before burning batteries, we determined structure and texture of the ground, pH value, color, and permeability ground to water. We measured the temperature at the depth of 5 and 10 centimeters, and after 60 days, we made all the measurements again. Ground properties were determined using the globe ground protocols. The second part of the research we did at school, and it related the influence of substances from batteries to germination and growth of bean seeds. We worked 3 samples in parallel. In each of them included 2 pots, in which we, in one of them, we put a few already used batteries. It stood like that 60 days, and after that, in each of them, we put 30 swollen bean slices. All pots were under the same conditions, and over 40 days, we monitored the germination and growth of bean seeds. On these slides and these 2 tables, you can see our results at the 2 stations in school garden at the beginning and at the end of our research. The results are pretty much the same. The only important difference is that the pH value decreased at the station where batteries are buried.
I will show you the second part of our research. Germinations in conditions with batteries and without them, we have shown on 3 graphs because we did a parallel observation on all of 3 of samples. The results were pretty much similar. In the first 2 cases, we can see a small number sprouted, and in the third, none. In the vessels without batteries, a large number sprouted. Here you can see some images created during the research in the school cabinet. The graph shows the stem growth of germinated plants that we have measured every 5 days from germinations. Among the plants that germinated in a pot without batteries, we chose 3 plants, marked them, and recorded the increment in centimeters, which we measure with a ruler from ground to the apex of stem. In this chart, as well as in the first one, we can see a higher growth in plants which are not in contact with substances from the batteries in the soil. Also, in both samples, it can be observed that after 30 days, it comes of drying of leaves and decay, which is not the case in the vessels without batteries.
These are our conclusions. First conclusion is substances from batteries in the soil do not change the structure and texture of the soil and do not affect its color, temperature, and water permeability. Substances from batteries deposed in the soil increase its acidity. And the last conclusion is bean plants growing in the soil where batteries are deposited will have lower germination to beans that grow in the soil without batteries and are exposed to the same germination conditions. Bean plants grow in the soil where there are batteries will have a slower growth and do not develop a flower or fruit because during development they begin to dry out and decay. Thank you for your attention. I hope you all enjoy.
Thank you to your presentation of really research project. And I'd like to ask first Gunta with her feedback.
Yeah, hey girls, welcome to this meeting. I really enjoy your presentation and also research. I saw in the chat a very huge amount of questions, so I will be short. So first of all, it's great research, great presentation as well. So congratulations on the 3rd place.
Thank you.
Great. But I'm just wondering, why did you choose this idea? It's quite tricky and in fact not very environmental friendly.
Ever since we were little, we have been taught not to use batteries in mixed multiples, and we were interested in why is that.
Okay, thank you. So the next question is related to environmental friendliness. So where did you put the soil from your garden or from your experiment? There was these batteries inside. What did you do with the soil? I mean, how you dispose of the soil?
We improve it and we put it in box from batteries in our school.
Okay, together with the batteries, you just dispose them correctly.
In the ground.
No, I mean after your research.
Yes.
I mean, you put batteries in the ground, so it's not very good for the soil. So what's happened with soil after that?
Bury it in the ground and
put it in a box with batteries, used batteries.
Okay, then good. So maybe you can answer to the questions on the chat, and if you will have a time, I will add the extra one.
Thank you, Gunta. So we have a lot of questions in the chat.
Yeah, so I can read them for you so that we have all of them. So there was 2 questions from Sandro. One is, how many batteries did you put in the soil?
3 batteries.
Okay, and the next one was, what kind of batteries these were?
Zinc carbon batteries.
Okay, so that was questions from Sandro. And then there is question from Susanna. Are there special places where to dispose all batteries? Like, do you have some system in Croatia where people can put the old batteries?
Yes.
And do you think people use them?
Yes, we have a red box where people throw the used batteries.
Okay, and
we think that the most people use that
Okay, thank you. And there is another question. Why did you choose the bean plant for the experiment?
We did a lot of experiment with bean on our biology class and chemistry, and it was just our first choice. We can
make a school in our laboratory, and we wanted to.
Okay, and then there are also many words of praise. People like your project, so then you can go through the chat. And there is a question from Dorian. Are you able to let your community know about your results and about the impacts of your research?
Yes.
So how did you do it?
In the class.
In the class. Okay. And question from Peter Falcon. Were the findings that you had at the end, was it something that you expected before?
Yes, all things we expected before.
Good. I think that's all questions from the chat. There are many.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. So you see your presentation, I'm very interested because people ask, and also thank you for questions and thank you for answering questions. So it's really great. So greetings to Omish.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks from my side as well. Thanks for effort. So well, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we will move to another country. We will move to Israel, and we can have a look to Israel through the presentation about collaboration of schools. And I'd like to welcome the teacher, Barak Lanes, who will give the presentation. So I can see Barak is online. Hello, Barak.
Hello, everyone. Nice to be here. First of all, I wanted to thank Batia Salem. She was our coordinator, our mentor from the Israeli Globe program. This was our first year joining the GLOBE program. We did a collaborative research between 3 agricultural farms in the north part of Israel. We monitored the growth of the hazelnut tree by the Green Up protocol. And here we also have one of my students, Shalev Gabriel is also here, and also Salit, another Salit Pitkovsky, she's another teacher from Zemach that also was part of this research.
Shalom, shalom from Israel.
Hello, greetings.
And so the students made a few video clips explaining about what we did, what the research was about. So let's see that. I'm trying to share my screen, just a moment, please. Okay, you can see it?
Yes, we can see it
Wonderful.
well.
So we'll just let it run, and when the students are speaking in Hebrew, there's also subtitles in English explaining what they're saying.
Yeah, you can put it to the whole screen if it's.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay, now it's perfect.
So we participated in the My Tree in the Spring campaign. Here we see the students from Fikei Yarden School in Zemach Bereshit with the teacher Salit. Now the 3rd grade students from Israel Valley School in Ginigar Nahalal. These are my students from Katzrin in the Golan Heights. When we planted the new hazelnut trees. Thanks to the COVID-19, we did a lot of Zoom meetings. This was our research question. That's it.
Thank you, Barak. Thank you for your presentation. It's really nice to see the enthusiasm of young students working on such a research and collaborate all together. And I'd like to ask Gunta for the feedback.
Thank you. So I'm delighted to give feedback because it's so easy if the presentation and also research is so nice and fantastic. So thank you for your research and welcome to Glow family. And I think for the first year, it's wow. So I'm really proud of you. So, but I would like to ask some questions. Why did you decide to plant trees? So maybe it's do you have maybe all the trees in your areas, or it is not this case?
So do you want to answer, or so
yeah.
I will answer this. Sorry. So when we talked to the teachers, we talked about which tree from the campaign to choose, and around Israel it's very common to see fig trees, olive trees, all kinds of trees, but it's very not common to see hazelnut trees. Mm-hmm. And it's not a tree that is supposed to be in Israel. Okay. So because it's not common to see this tree in Israel, this is why we decided to plant this tree in specific. And we didn't have any trees in our area. And it's also not a tree that is supposed to grow where we live. It's supposed to grow in the north part of the Golan Heights, where it's colder, or in the upper areas of Jerusalem where it's cold. So that is why we decided, and we planted one tree in each farm.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. So I've just
also
okay, go ahead.
No, just my agriculture farm is new, just 2 years old, and so we don't have a lot of trees. So we want a new one, and the chocolate. The children waiting now for the chocolate Nutella.
Cool. And go ahead.
Yeah, Rafaela.
And if I may add, first, I'm very proud of you, both of you, and Batya, of course, for your great work on the first year at the Globe family. It was really fantastic to work with you. But there was one more reason to choose to plant a tree, because we wanted to compare between 3 different places, and we want all the parameters to be as equal as we can, and just the parameter of the temperature, that it will be different. So they had to choose the same tree and to plant it on the same date, and that it will be from the same place. They bought it from the same place on the same size. So it was very meaningful for the research that it will be the same tree. It was not just watching other grown-up trees, but it was very important for the research. So they thought about it.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you for the answers. I'm just wondering that it's like a common to observe older trees. So if the trees are so young, so probably it could influence the results. But I know that you are thinking in a long term, not in this year. So great. And did you see also the flowers? And there's also a question, did you taste already the first nuts?
So unfortunately, they're too young. In my farm, we didn't see any flowers. So unfortunately, there were no fruit, no nuts.
So hopefully the next year will give you some. So one extra question. You mentioned that you also observe like a water level. I mean, precipitation. Do you have any conclusion on it? I mean, how precipitation influences your growing?
The participation didn't really influence. What influenced more is the heat. What we thought in the beginning was that in Zemach Bereshit, in Salit's farm, it will bud burst first and it will grow the fastest. Mm-hmm. But In Israel, weather changes very quickly. And although there's only 30 minutes apart from me to Salit and an hour from me to the other farm in Nahalal, it's totally different weather areas. And there was a very hot heat wave in Israel when the bud started to bud burst. So it started actually to bud burst first in Nahalal, and only then in Zemach, and only then in Katzrin that we knew because it was colder there. But in the end, it did grow the fastest in Zemach.
So that's also, it's very good. Then you make also this prediction how it could be. And it's so nice that in science it doesn't work in this right way. I mean, it's always like a changing situation. So I'm really proud. Thank you for your research, and good luck with your future research. And it's so nice to see that you three teachers are collaborating together, and also kids are so excited. So keep it. Thank you.
We're gonna check next spring again.
I would like to add another thing. Unfortunately, the third little tree of Nahalal didn't survive because of the heat. And we will compare the two survive at the future.
Yeah, it's reality. Sometimes it's happened.
So thank you, Gunta. We have nice reactions in the chat. Also some suggestions for cooperation in other countries, because Hazel is very common in other countries. So you can read it. Is there any question, Bara, that we can take?
Yeah, I think I would take the question which I will translate to English. So there is a question. It's from the team from Slovakia, and there is a question like, what is let's say the normal temperature in your place in Israel? If you, for example, say what it means if you say cold and what it means if you say hot, because perhaps your climate is completely different than we have here in Central Europe.
Yeah, it's well, it is hotter than Central Europe, but again, it is different between where I live in the Golan Heights. And also, I live in the Golan Heights in the, let's say, the middle part of the Golan Heights. And if I drive 20 minutes north, it's totally different climate. So I can show the measurements, actually.
You can just say, for example, like now, what is the
moment?
You know, our winter is it's 10 Celsius.
10 degrees.
Now it's 29 degrees.
Now it's 35.
Now here in Kfar Saba, in the middle place in Israel, it's 29 degrees, and in Zemach, which is nearby it's nearby the Galilee Lake, 35. And at the Golan Heights, it can be a very low temperature in the morning, somewhere around 12, 14 degrees. So we are a very small country, but we have a lot of differences between all the places. We have snow and desert, everything all together.
Yeah, we have different climate.
Yeah, that is why we make a comparison in this research that realize from the temperature.
Thank you. So that was many answers to the one question. Thank you so much. And there are some more questions in the chat, so you can then check it and you can answer to them. And because I think we should go to the next presentation, right, Anna?
Yeah, thank you. So please answer the questions in the chat. And so we can move to Malta now, and we will have a video presentation called A Tale of 10 Zones from Malta Gozo College, so Lawrenz Primary, the friendly school. I think we have a students and teacher, and we will let them speak after the video. So let's watch the video first.
Hello, I am Aiden.
I am Manna.
And I am Christabel.
Together we are going to tell you the story of a tale of 10 zones.
All the staff and pupils took part in the story, and we used one simple instrument, the infrared thermometer, with great results. So let's get started.
Once upon a time, in a cold January morning of 2021, we chose 10 places to study their surface temperature. The surface's structures were very different and mysterious. We had tarmac, concrete, soil, synthetic turf, and shade, while others were facing the south and the north directions. We had 10 different places to check. Oh, what a headache!
Eureka! We could use the urban heat islands and surface temperature campaign to solve it. We used the globe surface temperature protocol to be precise and similar to other projects taking place across the whole world. We started off by observing that the darker the surface, the higher the temperature. Now other questions popped up in our minds, like for example, what happens if the surface is not uniform, or if a northerly wind is blowing?
After more consultation, we concluded that we needed to prepare a result sheet for each day of the reading. Each sheet had to be divided into 10 sections according to the number of the different types of surfaces. We needed to train all the staff and pupils about how to hold the infrared thermometer when taking the temperature.
We chose 5 days with different climate conditions, and exactly at 11:15, we start taking the temperatures. That meant that we took 450 readings in all. Once all the data was collected, the average value for the temperature of each zone for each day was used for comparison reasons. 10 sites were created on the Globe website, and all data was uploaded by means of a laptop.
These are our results. For wet ground, the lowest average temperature recorded was that of concrete in the shade. The highest average temperature recorded was that of the south-facing soil.
For dry ground, the lowest average temperature was registered by the concrete. The highest temperature was registered by the synthetic fur. The fact that in wet conditions the soil registered a higher temperature than that of the concrete could mean that this provides the ideal conditions for plant food production. However, the wet ground registered an overall lower average temperature than that of dry ground.
On dry ground, synthetic materials like turf and concrete register slightly higher average temperatures than natural occurring elements like soil. By extrapolation, one might imply that built-up areas should register higher temperatures than those in the countryside.
Black surfaces like tarmac and treaded black rubber tires in the synthetic turf absorb a lot more heat, especially in the dark conditions. This is the opposite case of the average temperature of the naturally occurring materials.
One can conclude that naturally occurring materials help in keeping low temperatures when the ambient temperature is high, while keeping a relatively high temperature when the ambient temperature is low, thus promoting ideal conditions for living things.
Dear Globe friends, we are very happy that we shared our project with you, and we thank you for your interest in it. We wish you all the best from sunny Gozo. Saha!
So thank you for great video. It's a performance, nice, really. Congratulations. Yeah, and we have a student with the teacher Xavier here. Yeah, so if you want to add something, Xavier, or we can give a floor to Peter Falcon to feedback.
The children who participated with their teacher and the whole school in this project, where it was interesting.
So congratulations for such a lot of people.
Thank you.
Okay, so greetings to your students and colleagues.
These are Christabel. Hello. Hello. Anna.
Hello.
Aidin.
Hello. Hello. Thank you. Great job. Thank you for a nice video.
We have Rowan.
Hello. Hello.
We have Stephanie.
Hello, Stephanie. Hello.
Hello. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I give a floor to Peter Falcon to give you some more feedback.
Okay.
Hi, guys. First off, I just want to say I love the name of your school, the Friendly School. That is awesome. And secondly, I just want to say I also love how creative your video was. I thought that was really cool. As Dana mentioned, it seemed like a really nice production. So my question is, how did you go about choosing those 10 sites? And how many, I see you measured, I believe, 450 times. How many times did you go to each site and make measurements there?
We chose those sites have different climate changes in the atmosphere. For example, the north is very cold here. The south facing school is very warm. And our school also affects us the wind conditions. The same day can have different temperatures along the day. Then we decided which parts are most can change the temperatures. That's why we got 10.
I see. So the sites are very different. My next question is, first, I thought it was a great idea, very smart, in fact, to use the Urban Heat Island surface temperature campaign. That's something I think we would like to see more often, so thank you for using that. What was the most difficult part of your research?
When it rained.
Because with those 5 different days, with 5 different training. And you can imagine them taking the temperature and then coming down. When it was raining, they had to take the temperature as usual, using umbrellas and raincoats.
Thank you for that answer, Cristabel.
Thank you.
My last question would be is what would you do next? What's the next step for your research?
Star constellations.
And Ada would to study the constellations now. Is it part of globe?
I didn't hear the last part.
And
To study star constellations.
Very interesting. Study star constellation. Awesome. I don't think it's part of globe, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't study it. That sounds like a great idea. Okay, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Dana, and perhaps we have some questions in the chat for you guys.
Yes, thank you, Peter. Thank you. So, Bara, do we have any questions? Or
Sure.
We have some, yeah, many questions. Great.
So there is a question. What time did you take the measurements? If it was in the morning or during the noon time?
At 11.
At 11. Okay. Thank you. Now, it was difficult to understand you now, but we could hear that it was at 11. So thank you. And there is one more question. Which surface of your study did you like the most to spend time at? Like if you, for example, have the idea, like if it's too hot in summers and you want to cool down, on which surface you would like to sit, for example?
Under the trees.
Thank you. Yeah, so thank you so much. And you can read in the chat, there are some more reactions to your presentation. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. And yeah, we have to continue with next presentations, and we are moving to Slovakia again. And I'd like to welcome students and teacher Olga Strakova from primary school in Bratislava called Spojená, škola svatého Františka z Assisi. It's also a very new school in Globe. So can I see? Are you there?
Hello.
Yeah, perfect. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Can you see our presentation?
Yes.
Yes, you can put it on the whole screen. Perfect. Thank you. We can start.
My name is Matthew. My name is Martina. And my name is Maki. And in the United School of St. Francis of Assisi in Bratislava, Slovakia. Today we will present to you the activities our school did during our first year as a part of the GLOBE program. Most pupils from the 5th and 6th grade of our primary school have taken part in the project last school year, which has involved approximately 250 pupils. The activities themselves were assigned online as homework by our teachers Olga Strakova and Martina Klievštikova. The global pandemic definitely affected our work, but it did not stop us from our scientific exploration. We focused on the topics of meteorology and phenology.
The first task consisted of observing the sky and was done by 5th graders during geography lessons
Observation of the sky took place in February and March during 2 lessons. The pupils received observation homework after their online lessons. The focus of this homework was to observe the sky at the same time every day for a week. We recorded our observations in a table, which we learned to use.
On the following slides, you can see a showcase of our observation results. For example, the stratus type of cloud was most commonly observed.
Some pupils also took photographs of the clouds they observed, which you can see on the following slides. The second task of the project involved observing different stages of leaf buds growth. The teachers helped us observe the growth of leaf buds, then they returned the observations into the growth database. On the following slides, you can see a showcase of our observation results. We used tables that were provided by the growth project. In June, we returned back to school and we observed and measured the growth of leaves that grew from the leaf buds at our school. We used rulers to measure their growth. On the slide, you can see how a tree that we observed changed as autumn progressed.
As you can see on the photos, we were very happy to be a part of the project, even in such difficult COVID times.
Thank you for your attention.
Thank you for your presentation. So you are very new in the globe and you did such an excellent observation. It seems that you are experts in clouds now. It's nice to do observation of clouds, and also you like to do observation of trees. So I'd like now to give a floor to scientist Mirela Sertić-Perić from University of Zagreb, Croatia. I think she's now here. And
yes.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Mirela.
Hi.
Thank you to be with us. And so you can give a feedback, the first feedback.
Thank you for including me into this comments session. I would just say to our students, congratulations on your first year activities. And this was really a nice example of protocol incorporated, of the GLOBE protocol incorporated within regular teaching and lessons. So it's great that you managed to include GLOBE into your homeworks, let's say so. It's really great to see that you chose in your first year the challenging phenology protocol. This was really a great example of great starters, I would say. I would like to ask, what are you planning to introduce next into your GLOBE activities? So this year you did atmosphere and phenology. What's your next challenge?
We'll continue in phenology. In spring.
Okay, so you will continue with phenology measurements.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, okay, continue, because it's really nice if you have something near your school to keep an eye on. I encourage you to continue with your activities. Actually, I don't have any other questions. This was really a nice example. Maybe some of you have questions in the chat.
Yes, we have some questions in the chat. So one question is, what tree species did you choose? So was it oak or was it maple? What kind of tree was it?
Linden tree.
Okay, good. And do you have some like nickname for the tree, or do you have some nice name for the tree?
No.
No. There is suggested in the chat that you can give your own name to the tree. That it would be nice. Like all of us, we have names. Perhaps even your tree can have a name. And there is another question. How many trees are you observing?
Every student has had his own tree next to his home, for example. And then there was one registered tree.
Okay.
Low.
Okay. And yes, there are some more reactions in the chat. So I think I recommend you to go and to see what is in the chat, and you can reply to the people who are asking more questions. And thank you.
Yeah, so thank you. Yeah, there are questions like the most typical cloud type and so on. So you can answer in the chat window. And thank you once more, and greetings to Slovakia, to Bratislava, and good luck with your next observations and projects. So thank you for coming and give us your presentation.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, and so we are a little bit moving again, and we are going to Croatia. And I'd like to welcome and give a floor to students Marina and Rita and their teacher Ankica Veselic from primary school Banija. So students, and do we have this?
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello to Croatia.
Thank you.
So
can we share?
Yeah, you can share the screen.
I'm Ankica Veselic. I'm from Croatia. I work at primary school Banija in Karlovac. These are my students.
Hello,
Hi.
I am Marina. We are 8th grade.
And I am Vita, and we have been in Globe for 4 years, and we think it's very interesting.
Now we can share our presentation.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yes.
You can put it on the whole screen.
We're having a little problems.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Today in this presentation, we will show you what skills we have developed through the GLOBE program and what our experience are. In our school, GLOBE program has been implemented for 20 years as an extracurricular activity. Each year, I set a group of about 30 students, age 11 to 14 years. In the first year, all students learn to measure and observe from all areas: atmosphere, hydrology, biosphere, pedosphere, and later on they choose to work in a group from the area they're most interested in. Older and more experienced students teach younger students and have a great role in this learning process. This way of transferring knowledge has proven to be very good.
Through measurements and observations, we learned about the environment and monitor changes while developing patience, perseverance, and regularity in work, which is also very important for other school subjects. Every year, we organize field classes, trips, and visits to institutions for students. This way, students are able to learn in different situations from what they are used to. Also, we get to communicate with various experts from different fields and different professions.
Every year, we participate in research projects so they can develop a scientific and multidisciplinary approach to learning. We learn how to use Globe database and how to inherit data for our research. We present projects in the local community and thus develop our presentation and communication skills. Students have the opportunity to regularly participate in international webinars and campaigns, and to get to know the world scientific community, collaborate with other Globe students, develop communication skills, learn a foreign language, and make videos.
Every year we participate in inter-country and even national competitions, thus encouraging teamwork, bringing students closer together, and connecting teachers and students.
Every year, our group organizes the collection of old paper, old batteries, and plastic bottles to raise money from which we buy seedlings of fruit trees, and flowers, which then we plant into our school environment. We also include younger students from our school in all of these activities.
I can say that students are very motivated to work, and the vast majority stay in the Globe program through all 4 years of elementary school, and many continue with the Globe program in high school or even became Globe alumni. Many of them choose the STEM field in the future education and want to be a scientist. Thank you. That's it. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. So you can stop sharing screen, and it's great that older students teach younger students at your school. So it's very interesting to hear this. But first, I will give floor to Zuzana Lhotáková to give a feedback to you.
Good afternoon, and thanks for a perfect presentation. It can be seen that you are really advanced and experienced in Globe, because for 20 years it should be like that. And what I really like is the approach that first you let the students try all the disciplines and all the protocols, and then to choose what's their interest and to be specialized. I think it's really, really good to have a little bit experience with all the other disciplines. Then I really appreciate the mentoring system, like that the older students help to the younger students. That's what Dana mentioned as well. I think it's really good to share the experience, not only between the teachers and students, but students themselves. And then I agree what the girls have said, that it learns you patience and perseverance as well, because sometimes doing the long time research, it's really demanding. And what I like very much is that you do the field trips and use your skills outside of class, not only collaborating with experts, but as well presenting your results and getting known the community about your projects and so on, which I think is really important to show that we have to care about the environment and we have the impact on the environment. And well, so that's more or less my feedback, very positive. And I have some questions as well. At the end, you mentioned that there are some students that they want to be scientists. So if you have already an example of some student who started with the Globe protocols and now you consult him or her like a scientist expert, is there somebody already who passed the school and now is a scientist or an expert collaborating with Globe?
Well, we have lots of like students who are in the globe in high school and also in college. So they are also like trying to become a scientist one day.
Yeah, so they will become experts soon, and that's nice.
Yeah.
Yes. I hope so. That will be so.
And then other question for the students, what do you like the most on the globe research? What's your favorite area, and what's the biggest fun on doing research?
Well, we really like going to like field trips and seeing all the different places and then doing measurements there to see every like different places.
And also we're doing a microplastic project.
Yeah.
And it is very interesting and fun.
Yeah, we're doing hydrology research
as well.
Yeah, nice. So that's good that you are having fun. I think that it's important to not only work with data, but have the context to see the environment and observe as well. And maybe one last question. If the globe protocols are done for 20 years in your school, do you work with the old data as well? Do you see the changes? Because you have in the presentation, we can see the changes. So do you have some example of change in something?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We have everything wrote down.
And we have like old notebooks where we wrote all of the things in that, and we have also that as well.
Okay, so very well done. And yeah, we are looking to other presentation from your school, and fingers crossed, and enjoy. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zuzka.
Okay, there are some questions in the chat, and there are actually two questions to the teacher, to Ankica. So one is, how do you motivate youngsters to take part in Globe? And the second is very specific. It's from Zoran, the country coordinator in Slovenia. Would you be willing to host a study visit from our teachers sometime? From teachers from Slovenia to your school?
That would be nice. For younger students, we make a workshop in which they learn and Globe Protocol.
We meet the whole Globe Protocol and
they learn everything. Yeah. They meet the Globe Protocol.
Thank you.
So I think it's nice to see the collaboration started online here. And do we have any other questions?
There are many reactions in the chat. So I recommend you to go there. There is, you can just go through it. Thank you.
So thank you. Good luck with your next research. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye. And we are moving to another country. We are moving to Italy. And we will watch a video presentation now. It's from high school, IIS Ferraris Brunelleschi. And it's prepared by students and teacher Maria Ossarelli. So I think we can start with the video now.
Per noi oggi è un giorno importante, visto che il 10 aprile del 2000 è iniziato il nostro progetto GLOB, relativo al campo di indagine atmosfera. A 21 anni di distanza, noi studenti del Ferraris Brunelleschi siamo ancora qui a rilevare i dati previsti dal protocollo del GLOB. Questa è la dimostrazione della validità del progetto, il cui obiettivo fondamentale è, oltre alla sensibilizzazione e alla conoscenza dell'ambiente, quello di darci la possibilità di sentirci cittadini attivi e di creare una sorta di comunità tra studenti, docenti, scienziati e la società nella quale viviamo.
Questo è il nostro foglio di lavoro. Qui sopra annoteremo ora e data, ovvero oggi è il 10 aprile 2021 e i rilevatori sono Valeria, Marius e Claudia. Come prima cosa andremo ad annotare la temperatura corrente e la temperatura massima e la temperatura minima.
Ora misuriamo l'umidità con l'iglometro e la pressione con il barometro.
Ecco il pluviometro che ci permette di determinare la quantità di pioggia accumulata e il suo pH attraverso la cartina indicatrice.
Adesso è il momento di alzare gli occhi al cielo e osservare la copertura del cielo. Secondo la scheda, oggi il cielo è coperto e sono presenti degli stratocumuli che premettano pioggia.
Prendendo spunto dagli studi di Galileo Galilei, anche noi seguiamo le fasi del suo metodo scientifico sperimentale per cercare di comprendere il complesso libro della natura. Iniziamo con l'osservazione, ovvero più specificatamente effettuiamo delle valutazioni mirate per cercare di arrivare alle necessarie dimostrazioni e in seguito descrivere i risultati. Non basta guardare, occorre guardare con occhi che vogliono vedere, con occhi che credono in quello che vedono.
Il nostro compito è quello di inviare all'archivio del progetto GLOBE, NOAA National Geophysical Data Center a Boulder in Colorado, i dati che quotidianamente vengono raccolti dai nostri compagni del biennio alle 12 ora locale.
I dati sono stati inseriti sulla piattaforma dedicata, in tal senso abbiamo avuto la fortuna di partecipare alla sensibilizzazione sul cambiamento climatico territoriale. Noi siamo di quinta e passiamo questo testimone ai ragazzi del terzo anno, Marius e Francesco.
Il Ferraris Brunelleschi è molto attento al legame con la società e infatti ha creato questo collegamento sul nostro sito che permette di vedere i dati atmosferici in tempo reale a tutti i cittadini.
Le azioni compiute da ciascuno sulla Terra possono sembrare piccola cosa rispetto all'infinità del cielo. Solo se saremo cittadini responsabili potremo sperare di preservare la bellezza. Ogni sforzo di oggi potrà ricompensarci domani.
So thank you and big applause to this nice video prepared with this high school. Do we have Maria Posarelli and her students there today online? Yeah, I can see.
Yes.
I can
Hello.
See. Hello, hello. It's a great to see your video and to see that you work with citizens also in your community and show the results there. So it's fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's great to be here with you today, to see you virtually, but yet to see you. It's great to participate this way. And we hope maybe in the future we'll be able to meet in person. Who knows?
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully, I think everybody wants to meet in person. But for today, let's ask Mirela again for the feedback as the first person.
Okay, so hello everyone in the classroom, and thank you for this professionally arranged video. I really liked it. It was really nice that you included in your story the entire history of GLOBE in your school, and you also gave us an important message. So looking is not enough within the GLOBE program. I would, and it's impressive actually that you already have 21 years of globe monitoring within your school. That's really a great tradition, I would say. I would like to ask now, have you arranged or set up any other globe site within your school except the atmospheric measurements site?
Yes, we've been working on hydrology as well, and now we are going to study microplastics. So we are expanding our field of research. It's very, very interesting, and the students are really eager to follow us in this project. They really like to participate. All of the students of our school participate. They take turns to take the measurements. So it's very stimulating.
And so I would also like to ask, how do you attract that many students to follow the GLOBE mission?
It has become a tradition in our school. It's part of the, I wouldn't say the syllabus, but it's part of who we are. So they are eager to participate and they like it. They can really, they can do things together, and that's what they like, to see things, to work things together.
You just have to let them an opportunity to work, and I think they're happy with it.
Yes.
I guess.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
Okay. Congratulations once again for this great tradition. And now I would leave the floor for questions to other participants. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mirella. Thank you. So do we have any questions for Italian students?
There are some reactions in the chat.
Yeah.
And there is a question by Gunta. Do you observe some climate change signals?
Yes, we have been collecting data, and it takes about 30 years to actually see the change working. So we're still collecting data, and we will collect all of them and we will present them. So we will present our result at the end of our investigation. It takes time, but we can see the signals. Unfortunately, yes.
Thank you, and we are looking forward to hear from you in a
May
couple of
I
years.
ask,
Sure.
sorry, may I ask, during winter or during summer?
During winter, not during the summer, the system has been automated since 2008. So actually it's during the summer, during school time. And then over the summer, the data are automated collected.
No, I mean this climate change signals. It's stronger during summer or during winter period.
Okay. Mostly during summertime. Yeah, summers are hotter.
Yeah, so it's related with
drier.
the heat waves.
Yes, that's right. And violent heat waves.
Okay, thank you. You have excellent room. I'm jealous.
Thank you.
Sorry, Dana, I would like to add something because the video is the half of the video, the real original video. And what is interesting is the strength and the professionality of Maria Posarelli, which is one of the founder of Globe Italy. She was with us when we founded Italy. So it's, we should ask how Maria Posarelli can maintain her enthusiasm and her scientism rigorous. So it's very strong for Globe Italy. Maria is one wonderful example.
Yeah. She's a great teacher.
Yeah, and she's great colleagues and students. And I would like to say something else, because there is a great history, because they have used the traditional weather station But at certain time they made a change and they built by ourselves the automatic station. But just 2 years ago, they were able to buy a professional station that is included, that was included by the board of the city where they live, close to Florence. Remember Florence? And now the station is included in the regional station. So their data are used for the community. And I think that is a great result because it's globe, professionality and data of globe, but used for the community. And the school has a great reputation in that area. Great Maria.
Yes. Thank you for all this background information, Sandra. It's good to know all this. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations to Maria for her great work.
Thank you.
Thank
well,
you.
I'd like to answer the question that I'm in the chat. If any of our students have decided already that they want to be professional scientists, yes, they actually, many of them want to be scientists, and some of them have already studied at university, already got a degree, so they're really interested in science. In this institute, we study chemistry and other sciences, so our students are really motivated.
So thank you all for the answer. And so we probably should go to, or Bara,
yes.
Do we have any? Yeah, we can continue to answering questions through the chat. So if I can ask you, and thank you to Italy, thank you, Maria, thank you, students.
Bye.
Thank you. And yeah, we have one more video that we want to show you. It's from North Macedonia. It's from high school Goce Delchev Valandovo. And this video was submitted for the Water Bodies Challenge that we organized, Regional Coordination Office, in spring this year. And that time we invited all students to celebrate water. We can see around us and tell us about the significance of the water area for the environment and for the community as well. So let's see how important is water for students from North Macedonia.
It may appear that kids today aren't as interested in school as they were years ago. Nobody blames adults for thinking that because it's true to some degree. Nonetheless, there are still lots of kids eager to learn, study, and explore our planet Earth. The GLOBE program offers us exactly that. It really is a great opportunity to have the chance to contribute in exploring our ecosystem.
We are so happy for having the chance to participate in the Water Body Challenge. We will always like it exploring, observing, and studying the environment around us. The biggest water body nearby is the river Vardar. It's the biggest river in our country. I find it interesting to study this simple since this river is being polluted on a daily basis. Not only by trash but also by a lot of sewers and factories.
Water is really important for the people here, since our country is mostly agricultural, and we need the water for the land we work on. It would be fascinating if we ever get the chance to expand our knowledge and understanding of our own water supply.
So thank you for this video that you submitted. You see that students are worried about the quality of water, Vardar, in their locality. I'm not sure if we have students or teacher Stoyan Malev from North Macedonia here today. But we have country coordinator Katerina. So if you have any feedback, I think you can give it to the chat now, or you can speak if you want. Oh no. And if, yeah. So I can't see any reactions at this moment. Maybe it's too fast. So many presentations and videos, one after another. Yeah, there is a one from Zuzka.
Can I comment?
Yes.
Just in case that the students and or teachers who made the video would look for the recording, because I think that the video was very nice and professionally done. And well, I think it's great opportunity to take hydrological research, as they showed us quite pollution in the river. And I'm looking forward to some project on or research on water life or I don't know, parameters of the water of your Vada river. And my question would be, what are you going to explore? However, there's nobody to answer, so
yeah, okay.
Next time.
So thanks. next time. Thank you, Zuzka. And yeah, if you are interested in some more videos that were made by students during this water bodies challenge, so you can go to YouTube channel and they are listed there. We can put a link to the chat window. And okay, so, and we have the last video for this session, and so it's from Croatia. So we are moving again to Croatia. It is from Ekonomská I trgovačka škola Dubrovnik, and it's made by student Matej Ban, and his teacher is Sanja Čulić.
Hello, my name is Matej Ban and I go to the School for Economics and Trade in Dubrovnik. So today we'll be talking about climate change, and climate is changing all around the world and here in Croatia too. The temperatures are rising every year, so we can also see some other significant changes. Some of those are much rarer snowfall in the continental parts of Croatia and more intense rainfall. Another important thing is that changes between seasons are much less noticeable. For example, we can go for wearing jackets and long sleeves to short sleeves in a matter of days. These days we spend most of our days in the year in short sleeves due to extremely hot days and nights, making life without air conditioning unbearable. Globe is here to help us notice changes in the environment, and here in Croatia and in the rest of the world, using a lot of different measurements and observations. We can notice what we are doing to the environment and what we are doing to this planet, and many different ways we can help rescue it and save it. This can lead to some local actions such as planting trees and picking up litter, which will hopefully later on lead to some more global actions and help save this planet sooner.
So thank you for this video. And you see that for students, they notice the changes of climate at their places where they stay, and they think about local action. So it's very nice to hear and see. And probably we have a teacher, Sanja Čulić, with us. Hello. Yes, she is on the. Hello, Sanja.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello. And we have also students. Okay, great, great. So any feedback to students to this video, or any comments, reactions? questions, please feel free.
Gunta has a question, I think.
I just have a short comment. I really enjoyed that you compared the results with the clothes, not like with the numbers, but with the real life, like what is changing in your, your habits. So it was nice. So thank you.
Thank you.
There is a question in the chat for the students. Beside the research, what kind of action are you taking to battle climate change?
We are planting trees all around our school. Also, we are conducting cleaning actions surrounding the school area. Hopefully, it will motivate people to hopefully do more of that. Maybe motivate other schools to join in on our actions as well.
So thank you. And so, yeah, so I think if there are no more questions or reactions, I'd like to give a big thank to all students and teachers who presented their projects today. It was a great session. We traveled around several countries and were invited to your school. So thank you for this. And also I'd like to give a thank to scientists who gave the feedback. So thank you to Gunta, Mirela, Zuzana, and Peter for providing feedback to the students, to presentations.
Always welcome.
And maybe you know it, but I will repeat it, and I'd like to invite you, all the students, to participate at the International Virtual Science Symposium, Globe Symposium, in the next year, and upload your research projects there. The topic for the next year is engineering solutions for a changing climate. And so it's a quite nice topic, and I think that you can find more information at the webpage. We will put the link to the chat. And I think yesterday was the first webinar organized about this topic, but you can find recording at the webpage as well, so you can hear it. And you can follow the steps that are described at the website. And also, if you have any questions about this, contact your country coordinator. And we really look forward to have your nice presentations or results of projects at this symposium uploaded. And so it's about the opportunity for you to present to wider community. And then during yesterday, or from the first day, Tuesday, Wednesday, we saw several videos of our Globe vloggers, students vloggers. And so if you are interested in this, you can also follow these student vloggers at the YouTube channel and watch another ones. You know that each region has two vloggers. We have girl Hannah from Malta. We saw some videos yesterday, and then we have Johannes from Estonia. It's our vlogger, represent our region. And maybe the last information, all the presentation and videos from today's sessions will be available at the web page. We will send you a link when it is here, and you can look at it, or you can also share it with the Globe community in your places where you stay, so more people know about what you are doing. So if there are any questions or comments at the end of this session, No comment. So we are really in time of the break. So the break now is 15 minutes. The next session will start at 4 o'clock. And if you want, you can stay connected, only you can switch off your camera and microphone. And so we will meet again in 15 minutes at this link. So thank you.
Dana?
Yeah,
Dana?
yeah, Tony. Anna?
Sorry, if I was looking for my mute button. I was muted. So
Okay,
I would just like to thank all the students and teachers who presented this morning and yesterday as well on the great research that the students are doing. And it's wonderful to see that energy by the students being put to great use, and learning about the science process and the research process, and finishing the research process, which is communicating your results out to your peers and to the community. And so thank you for all of your hard work. And we really appreciate the work that you do for the GLOW program and in the GLOW program. So thank you.
Thank you, Tony.
I also just wanted to say a big thank you. It was excellent 2 hours. I think it was amazing. Thank you. So good luck with your future research. So thank you.
Thank you,
Spring.
Yeah, thank you. And I believe we will meet again at some online or in-person sessions. So now we can start the break.
So we are coming to the end of the break in our today's program. We have seen amazing video presentations and live presentations of students. And now we have next session. And we have 2 guests or speakers for the session. Good morning to both of them. Good morning to David and to Cornel, who are at the far end of our planet from my perspective. And they are both from SSAI, which is the organization that manages the GLOBE technology for the GLOBE program. So we will have the session of 45 minutes, and we will see the update on the GLOBE technology on the website, apps, and other things. And you can ask questions, you can post them to the chat during the presentation, or you can then ask, you can then start talking after the presentation. So I give the floor to David. Or Cornel, I don't know who will be talking, with both or just one of you.
Yeah, I'll start off and then Cornel will finish it up.
Perfect.
So thank you, Bara, and it's great to be here. Good to see everybody. Like everybody else, I wish we could be together in person, but I guess this is the next best thing to that. And yes, we all, both Cornel and I, are bathed in the blue light of our monitors because it's still dark outside here, but good afternoon to you. Let me share my screen. And let me put this to full screen, and you can let me know if it looks okay. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Great. Okay. So what we usually do in this session is talk a little bit about what has changed since the previous year's meeting, and then spend more time on things that are coming in the future, so you have an idea as to what may be coming and what changes to expect in the next year. So I'll go through the things that have changed since the last year fairly quickly. Most of you, I hope, have already seen these changes and have become comfortable with them. We did put in a new version of software that runs the GLOBE website and all the management things behind the scenes. That happened almost a year ago. I think it's about 10, 11 months ago that this went out. And hopefully everybody has gotten comfortable with it and hasn't had any issues. If you do still have any issues or confusions about it, between us and the help desk, we're always here to help you out. But it's been out for a fair while now. The other kind of big project we did was we moved the hosting environment. It was all hosted in the Amazon cloud, and we've moved it to another cloud environment that's hosted by NASA. And hopefully nobody noticed, because it didn't change anything that you see, but it was quite a long project and took a lot of work. So sometimes people think, what are you guys doing all the time? This is one of those projects that really had no visible change to anybody, but it did move into a NASA operated environment, which should help with security and also reduce cost a bit. So it's good for the program, even though you may not have seen much on it. The other big project is the data entry, the changes that we've been making. Many people, and I saw a lot of the projects and people talking about the Globe Observer app. We've been working to gradually bring Globe Observer and the Globe Data Entry apps together so that you only need one app to do your measurements. The first version of that came in July, where we put the atmosphere protocols in with Globe Observer. And there's a number of other features that you'll see in Globe Observer. If you are a trained teacher, or if you're using a student account from a trained teacher, you'll see this. And the goal is to simplify things and consolidate things. I have a couple of screenshots, and again, hopefully many of you have already seen this, that if you are trained and or using a student account, you'll see the atmosphere data entry button up at the top. Now, if you are not trained or verified, it'll just look like the regular Globe Observer app, and you won't even know that anything's there. But for those that are trained, they'll see the atmosphere data entry link at the top. You can click on that and you'll have access to all the atmosphere protocols. You'll be able to enter the data here just like you can on the desktop or the data entry app now. And eventually that will be expanded to include all of the protocols, but we launched atmosphere first since that's one of the more popular protocol sets. When you work with sites, you can access all your existing sites, so nothing will disappear. You'll still be able to see them. When you create a new site, it's a little bit different than the way it was. And I think I have a couple screenshots to kind of show the process. But when you create a new site, you actually don't have to immediately create a site. You can just go to a place, tell the system, I want to do these protocols. So in this example, you see air temperature and surface temperature, and you click next, and it'll come back on your phone and say, okay, here's all the sites that are close to where you are. You can use one of your existing sites to put this data in, or you can create a new site right there. And if it's the first time you've done that protocol at that site, it may ask you a couple of additional questions, the site definition fields that you might be used to. So in the case of air temperature, if I've never done that at this location, it might ask me for the thermometer type and surface cover. But if it's one that I've already done at this location, it's not going to ask me those questions. So it should be a lot easier for you when you're doing measurements, that you just go to wherever you want to make the measurement, choose the protocols that you want to do, and off you go. And the system will create the site for you if it needs to, allow you to use an existing site. You can also do the clouds protocol here. We did hear some people were saying that they were trying to do their cloud measurements at the same place as their weather stations. A lot of the presentations talked about weather stations. Well, now through this, you can go to the same site that your weather station is and put your cloud measurement in at that same site. So it makes it a little easier to keep the data together. Whereas if you're just using Globe Observer, sometimes it might put it near there, sometimes it moves it around a little bit because the location accuracy is not necessarily perfect. So the hope is that'll help make it more consistent. So if you're doing cloud measurements, it can always be at the same location, the same site, the same place as your weather station. And eventually we'll add the other protocols as well. So that's been a big change. I hope people have had a chance to see it, especially those that are trained have had a chance to go in and take a look. If you haven't, please do. Send us any feedback that you might have. If you go to the desktop data entry forms, you'll see at the top there's a link to the new atmosphere protocols that is also there. So you can do this on desktop, Android, iOS. and it all looks almost identical because we've been able to kind of bring all the code together. So regardless of which system or which approach you use, everything should look the same. While we were doing that, we also redid the mosquito habitat mapper. So now it is a more visual index that you go through. So if you know the previous one, it had a lot of text and a lot of descriptions. And this one is a little simpler, where it just says which looks more like your larva. So does it look more like this one or this one, this one or this one? And it kind of walks you through the dichotomous key in a more visual fashion. So hopefully people find that a little bit easier too. We did add a link to something called SciStarter, which I think is more US focused, so it may not be as applicable in Europe, but it is a citizen science application that allows people to track their observations across a number of different citizen science initiatives. In the United States, a lot of the scouts use this. So I know Girl Scouts are really big with SciStarter. So a scout troop can set up their accounts. And now if you want, you can connect your measurements into SciStarter. So if anybody's using that in Europe, like I said, I think it's mostly in the US, but there may be some people in Europe that are using it. So that's kind of a quick run through of a year's worth of work. It goes very quickly when I do it this way, but hopefully, again, most of you have seen it. I think what's important is to spend a little time on what's coming so you have an idea as to what to expect, and perhaps give us some feedback as to what you think about what we're proposing. If you see some things that you've got some alternative ideas, better ideas, suggestions, this is a chance for us to show you what we're planning, and then hopefully get some feedback from you as well, in addition to just letting you know what's coming. So I'll go through some of these phase 1 ones, and then I'll hand it off to Cornell, who will talk about some of the additional items on this list. So the first thing that is coming out, and it'll be coming probably, well, definitely before the month is out. It's in test right now. And Tony may have talked about the new trainer process. This is primarily for the country coordinators. There is a new process to vet trainers and approve them in Globe. And this dashboard is going in. Every country coordinator, assistant country coordinator, and RCO will have this new dashboard. And basically what it's showing is all the people that have applied to be a trainer. And then in these dark blue columns to the right, these are the steps that they need to go through. So if you're familiar with the new training process, the first step is the country coordinator, or in some cases, the RCO, will take a look at the person, look at their application, and decide whether to approve them or not. And then it goes to the education working group, who likewise decides whether to approve it or not. A mentor trainer gets assigned, who reviews the person, and they submit their report. The country coordinator reviews the report and approves it. And then finally, the education working group gets their last chance to look at it. So there are these, 5 steps that every trainer needs to go through as part of the evaluation process. This was all defined by the education working group. And this is the dashboard that everybody can use to approve people as they go through this process. So as a country coordinator, you would see the first column and the fourth column will have the ability for you to click approve or reject. As a country coordinator, you won't be able to approve or reject the education working group column, of course. So only the people in the education working group can do that. But you can see that it's waiting for them to do it. So in this particular case, I can see that this pending means that the mentor trainer is in the process of reviewing, and I'm waiting for them to finish that review process. So as a country coordinator, you can come in here, you can see all the people that have applied to be a trainer. You can see where they are at in the process. You can click on their application to see their application. You can approve or reject them. When you approve or reject, you can type a little note that will get emailed to them that, hey, thanks for your application. You think it looks great. And it'll walk you through this whole process. So this is brand new, but it's based on a process that's been out there for about 1.5 years now. And like I said, it'll be going live before the month is out. So you'll see this little thing called Trainer Dashboard that will magically show up on your in your control panel at some point in the near future. And I'm sure we'll put some announcements out to let people know. So hopefully that makes some sense to you and it's not too much a surprise in terms of that trainer. And I hope this is relatively intuitive. We'll put some training material up to kind of help guide you through it as well. And I probably should have the chat window up in case there's questions coming out. So let me just pull that up real quick. Yes, thanks, Bar. All right, so that's the trainer process, and yes, country coordinators and RCOs. Another new feature that will be coming out before the month is out, although we'll run through a little prototype of it, is geofencing. If you're not familiar with what geofencing is, that's the option to create a project where you want people to collect data in a specific area. So let's just say I'm interested in collecting data around someplace in France, say Paris. So I want to make a little circle around Paris, and I want to say, in this region for the next month, I, as a scientist, am very interested in getting mosquitoes data, because this is a big time for mosquitoes in Paris, and I want to encourage people to collect data in this region. So anybody can, a scientist or a leader in the community, can fill out this form, which you see on the right, and I know it's very small, but essentially it's asking for information about your project. What is the project? When is the period that you want to collect data? Why would anybody care about this project? How does it connect to Globe? So give us information about your project. And then you draw a little region that says, this is where I want data collected. If that project is approved, when users are on the app, and if they happen to be in an area where somebody has requested data to be collected, they'll see a little bell show up on the top right that will let them know, somebody wants data here. And it can also be set to somebody wants data near where you are, so within 25 kilometers if you want. And if you click on that button, it'll come to a page that will tell you, oh, there's a project erosion tracking in the San Bernardino foothills. Here's the date range. You can learn more about the project, and it'll tell you, these are the protocols that we're interested in collecting data for. So you can look at it on a map. You can see where you are. You can see where the data collection regions are that the scientists or the community leaders are interested in. And then you can contribute data to the project. And many of these projects may set up Globe teams that you can join, and then they can communicate to you through the Globe team and tell you what they're doing and why they're doing it. And you can really be part of a geofenced project that working with, like I said, whether it's a scientist or a local leader that wants to encourage data collection in a particular region for a particular time. Now, a lot of the details are the approval process. They want to pilot this, so there'll probably be a couple of test runs first, but it will be there on your app. And as this gets rolled out, you may see a little bell on the top right like this. And if you click on it, you'll be able to learn about whatever the project is and be able to collect data to support a specific project. So we're looking forward to this. I think it'll be pretty exciting. So the next part that I want to go into, I'll take a check. Who can initiate? You need to have an account to initiate the process, but we didn't say you have to be a trained Globe person. So even a Globe observer could request an account, but obviously they will be reviewed by some members of a committee who will determine whether or not they think the project is appropriate for Globe. And we don't know if, as this rolls out, will there be 3 projects in the entire world, or people start saying, hey, you know, I've got an event coming up next week at the local museum, and I want to encourage people at my museum to collect data just around the museum for the weekend, right? I mean, it could get to be a large number of projects, or it could remain very small. That's one of the concerns, of course, is managing the number of projects that may come and how does that work. So some of this will be evolving over time. And the geofencing will be coming out. It's actually in test as well. We expect that that'll be rolled out by the end of this month. So it's almost done. The app side is done, and we're working on the side to approve the projects. So yeah, hopefully people will find it useful. And I think for the users, it's great to know that there's a project nearby that you could actually go collect data for a scientist or a project or a community that's interested in whatever it might happen to be. So with that, I wanted to provide a lot of time to Cornell to talk about some of the new work that we're planning on account creation, support for students and teachers. That's a real focus for this next year as we roll into things. So Cornell, do you want me to keep these slides up, or do you want to do it from your place?
Yeah, you can just keep them up, and I'll just let you know when to go to the next screen, and then eventually I'll share my screen to show the wireframes.
Great. Okay. So go ahead and walk me through, and I'll follow what you say.
All right. All right. Hello, everyone. Been a long time since I've seen everybody, and hopefully we'll be able to get together again next year. So like Dave said, I'm going to talk about some enhancements coming up. We have a 6-month plan for phase 1, and then phase 2 will follow that. So phase 1 includes this first part, and it's currently on the site. There's multiple account types, and there's often some confusion on which account type a person should have. Should they create an account through the app? Should I create the Globe teacher account on the website? And later on, if they want to do a workshop, then do they have the right account type at that point? So the idea is we want to create a single path for users to join Globe instead of having multiple paths. So it's a single account creation form. So everyone, and we try to break it down into 3 basic steps to join the program. One is to know the basics, go to the website, learn about Globe, what it's about, how it's used by teachers, educators, citizen scientists. And then step 2 is just to create your account, whether it's on the website or on the app. The forms will be the same on both the app and the website. Then once you create your account, you will have a basic Globe account. And at that point, you can start taking observations using the app with the basic protocols that are on the app: clouds, land cover, mosquitoes, tree height. So then everyone has one account to start. So then if you want to do more, if you are a teacher or informal teacher or earth science enthusiast, there are different things you can do to extend your knowledge. So one of the important paths is a teacher. So if you go to the next screen. So actually, this is the account creation form, and I'll show wireframes and go through the form in a bit, but this is what the form would look like. This is just a wireframe, of course, it's not the actual form. But it will ask the basic information, what country you're from, your address, password, which best describes you. You can check a box whether you're a citizen scientist, a teacher, or informal teacher. Okay, next screen. This is where I was saying that we want to have a clearer path for someone who is a teacher that wants to become a Globe teacher. And the term we're going to use is going to be Globe educator. It's currently known as a Globe member on the website, but we think that Globe educator is a better description of what the person would become, somebody who is an educator of the Globe program. So we wanted to make it clear on the paths that someone can take to become a Globe educator. And one path is, of course, going to a workshop, which is the path 2. So if you're US or international, you request to attend the workshop. Once approved, go to the workshop, you get your hands-on training, and then you become a Globe educator. And you can see the things you can do once you're educated. You can perform data entry for all the protocols. You can set up schools, student accounts, track student observations, collaboration, get recognized. You have full permissions of the website. Your name appears on the website. Your name is searchable. All those things that a Globe member can do now, but it will be called a Globe educator. The other thing that you can do, the other path is if you can't go to a in-person workshop, there'll be a form that you can fill out to request to become a Globe educator. That form will get sent to the country coordinator. And once they approve that person, essentially they are vetting or verifying the person, their school. Once that person is approved, similar to the way it is now, a country coordinator has to approve someone for that person's school to become part of that program in that country. Once the person is approved, then they can take e-training. And once they finish e-training, then they will become a Globe educator as well. And have the same permissions as someone who goes to a workshop. So we want to make this on the website very clear on these two paths. So that will be on the Get Started page, which again I'll show in the wireframes in a bit. Some of the other things we're going to do to just clear things up, go to the next screen, is we've heard that there's often some confusion when a Globe observer goes to a workshop and they may not be in the right school. Their name may not appear on the registration form because we didn't ask their name, or they didn't put in their name when they created their account. So we want to make it so before someone goes to a workshop, we will ask them for the school information. They can put in their name. So when they go to the workshop starts, we will create their school for them. That way they can start entering measurements and have it associated with their school while they're going through the training. So we hope that this will alleviate some of the confusion that has often occurred at workshops where the person is not in the right school. The person doing the workshop can't manage the person because the school is not under the country. So all that we'll try to clean up by having the school created in the school created when the workshop starts. Okay, next screen. So another important enhancement is improved student management. We've heard from teachers that they have difficulty in tracking their students' measurements because the measurements are currently associated with the teacher's account and not the student account. So we're going to have the data entered by students who have student accounts. It will be associated with that account, which will allow the teacher to track each student's individual observations. So that's one thing. Another thing is our enhancement is that currently in the system, student accounts, since we don't actually have the student's name on the website, it's difficult to track the student because they're not identified on the website. And this is true if it's a student account or if the student happens to have a real or regular Globe account, Globe Observer account as it's called now. There's no way we don't want to display the student's name on the website, so there's no way to really display the student's account or name on the website because we don't want to display the student's name. So the thought was we would have this auto-generated screen names to identify student accounts and basic Globe accounts who are currently unidentified because we don't ask for their name, but we can have them put in a screen name. Then their screen name will appear on the Globe team pages. It can appear on school pages, and that way we can track and identify the student without actually displaying the student's name on the website. So I'll show again some wireframes that will show how that works. Next screen. So we've also heard that teachers have a hard time tracking observations that are entered by the students. So we're going to create a portlet on the teacher's My Page that will allow them to track individual student observations and globe teams. They can manage globe teams, and that will all be on one interface. And I'll show that more detail in the wireframes. But if you go to the next screen, I can show you this sort of a example of how it may look. Once again, this is just a wireframe, it's not the final design. But the idea is that this would be a one place to go to create student accounts, to look at student observations, to create globe teams, to manage globe teams, to see observations for each student, to be able to click on a link to see the student's observations, edit student accounts. And this will be set up by a data period. So every school year, a teacher can go in and change the data period, and then the observations will display based on that period. So that way a teacher can reuse student accounts, because every year she can change the data period. Now she'll see just the observations for that period. So on the right side here, you see a list of students' accounts. And so these are accounts that either they're student accounts that were created by the teacher, or they're regular globe accounts that students created. You know, if it's an older student over 13, they could have their own regular globe account. So as long as that account is associated with a globe team that the teacher manages, or is associated with a school that the teacher manages, it will show up in this list. This will allow the teacher to manage students who have a student account or a regular globe account. She'll be able to see those student accounts and their observations. So in this example, I'm showing the screen name, the team the student belongs to, and the total observations. And on the left, you see the globe teams that the teacher manages. Here she can create additional globe teams. She can see total observations for each team, as well as total observations for her school. And then you can filter the student accounts by team by checking those boxes. Okay, next screen. We're also going to enhance globe teams. Currently, if you go to a globe team page, you don't see who the team members are. But now with the screen name concept, you'll be able to see the names of the students or anyone that is in that team. If they are if they have a account that is fully vetted, like a globe educator, you'll see their full name. But if they're not approved, you'll see their screen name. So you'll see the student's screen name instead of their real name. So you'll see all the team members on the globe team page. You have the option of having the globe team associated by a certain display period. So again, this will allow teachers to reuse globe teams from year to year by just changing the school year. And then you'll see only the measurements for that current year on the team page. There was requests to link IVSS reports on globe team pages. So then we can have reports and badges can display on the team page. So we're always looking to support team-to-team competition. So this will allow that by these enhancements to globe teams. Next screen. So those are the phase 1 items. So the phase 2 items, which will be done a little later next year. We've talked about this before as far as improving the site architecture to make it a little bit easier to find what people need. We've talked to different teachers and community members about how to improve the website structure. One idea is to, the Do Globe section has always been a little complicated because there's so much in there. So we want to pull out protocols and have them directly on the top level, because protocols is what typically people want to be able to get to easily. So we'll have protocols at the top level. We'll have research and resources, a place to go to get resources about the program and how to use the website, sort of thing. We want to pull out the campaigns because we feel campaigns is a very important part of the program. We don't want it buried on the Do Globe. And then there'll be a much improved training and tutorial section that would have how-to videos on how to do the protocols, and everything that a person needs for training will be in one section as opposed to being in other separate or multiple places on the website. So that's coming. Next screen. We've talked about also having a improved My Page, more of a dashboard concept, to easily find your data and your resources that you commonly use, better organized for guests to learn about the person, and a more effective interface to share accomplishments, awards, recognition, and interest. So next screen. This is just an example of what it might look like, where there'll be these accordion type interface where you can easily see the person's profiles. You can see your data sites. You can manage your data sites right here. You can manage your organizations, your blogs, collaboration, your friends, all that stuff will be in one location where you can easily manage and access content that you typically would use on the website. Next screen. And then other future enhancements coming after that. We've talked about improving the teachers' school reward systems improvements. Having Google Translate, I know the Translate is not the best, but having the option at least to see the entire site in a different language using Google Translate, that would be an option. We've talked about having user avatars for these screen names. So at some point, a student can pick and choose different avatars, either from the system or other systems, to go along with their screen name. We've talked about having Globe teams to be under schools instead of being, right now they're separate. So when somebody creates an account and they join a team, that they're added to the school automatically, as opposed to having to be done separately with a referral code. And then improved site categorization, because we know categories are used all over the site. We just want to make sure that they're easy to understand and easy to categorize content. All right, so I think I'll do just a quick demo of some of the wireframes. So Dave, if you want to unshare, and then I'll share. Maybe I'll pause here and see if we can look at some of the questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to say that let's take the demo in like 2-3 minutes if you can do it, so that we have still some time for questions. Thank you.
Let's see. Teachers may not want each student to create student accounts per class, and students blah, blah, blah. Okay, so these are just some.
Yeah, I will take the questions from the chat for you.
Okay, great.
I mean, later on, so that you don't have to read it all. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I've been trying to answer them as they go, Cornell, so I think we're okay. But
okay, great.
That demo-wise, it sounds like you've only got just a few minutes.
All right. So so this is this is the wireframe. Again, it's not the design. So just showing, this is the existing site structure. And under Get Started, there'll be a page on, like I was showing you, there'll be links to learn about the website. This would be a link to create an account. And then we talk about, again, the different paths to become a global educator. So if you look at the create an account, again, there'll be just the information about who you are, country, address, and then which best describes you. Then you just go through the form, you verify your email address, and you see we have the steps here, so you can see that how many steps there are in the form. Verify your email address, and you can pick, like I said, a screen name, and this will be a series of nouns and adjectives that you can combine to create a screen name, and they'll be in the system, so you can't just pick a screen name, pick an adjective or a noun. We don't want students to create some crazy name. But you can, through picking different combinations, and we'll pick words that are earth science related if possible, so they can have an earth science type of screen name. And once they pick what they want, we append a number at the end, so every screen name will be unique. Then there's the optional enter their name if they want. That way, if they decide to do a workshop later on, the names are already in the system. But it's optional. If they have a referral code, whether it's a school or a team, enter that there. And there'll be some opt-in options. Once they hit finish, their account is created, their screen name is displayed. Then if they've marked that they're a teacher, we can then have a link to, the next steps would be if they want to become a global educator, they can then continue with filling out a form that will then be sent to the country coordinator, who can then approve them. But if they want to stop and just start using the app, they can just do that now. Everyone has the same basic account to start. So then we talk about what you get by becoming a global educator. Then they can then fill out the form, and then we will then populate their name if they entered in their first name. Ask for a little bit more information, like the contact number. If they happen to know someone in the program that they can use as a reference, that often might be helpful for someone as they're verifying the person to maybe contact someone that they know who's already in the program. So this is the new option. See the forms. If they belong to a school, at this point we'll ask them to enter the school information that the person can use to verify the persons. This is for if it's in the US, we'll ask them to pick a partner. Confirmation screen. So at this point, again, the information is sent to the country coordinator. They can review the person's information and then approve them. Once they're approved, they can then do e-training and become a global educator. As far as real quick, I mentioned that this is, like, for example, if my page, we're going to add this new portlet, and it has all the information where they can create their account. When they create the student account, they can, you can create up to 10 at a time. You can, they get associated with the school automatically. If there's more than one school, if you drop down, they can pick the school. They can add the student to a global team at that point, generate, and then it generates the names for the teachers. You can regenerate the names if she wants. And then once she does that, the accounts are created. So the ID, screen name, login information, and passwords is created, which the teacher can then export to an Excel file that she can then use to track the student's information, and then use that to assign the accounts to the students in her classroom. Exit that. I talked about, so once the school's in session and the students doing observations, there'll be a link to the students' observation page. So this will have all the students' observations. You can filter it by the different protocols. So they just want to see clouds, you can just check that, so just clouds, etc. So I think we're pretty much out of time. I just wanted to show also that sorry. They'll be able to edit student accounts. So they'll go to this page and they can change, if they want to change the screen name, they can do that. They can pick a different screen name for the student. And we will allow the students to change their name, but we'll also have an option to, so for example, if the student wants to change their name at the beginning of the school year, we can allow the students to do that, but then we will eventually lock that to prevent the student from continuing to change their screen name. Because then it makes it hard for the teacher to track the students, because if they keep changing their names, then it's not up to date. But once they change the screen name, the login name gets changed to match, so it always matches the screen name for student accounts. If the student has a regular Globe account, it's associated with their real email, so they can change the screen name, but the screen name is not tied to the email because it's a real email address. So that's how they would change the student account information. And I think we're almost out of time, so I think I pretty much that's pretty much it in terms of the wireframe at this point. I will just point out, in the phase 2, I talked about we're going to be restructuring the site architecture. So this is, an example of what it might look like. We're going to redo the about section a bit. Talk about get started, training tutorials. There'll be eventually protocol how-to videos. We'll have all the different sections for the training documents. So website basics, data entry, training documents of partners and trainings will be here as well. So all be in one place for all your training documents. I talked about redoing the protocol sections. Every protocol will be redesigned a bit. So every protocol page will have its own page, and all the documents needed for learning how to do the protocol will be in one section. So introduction to Pedosphere, for example, will be here, as well as the teacher's guide information. And then if you go down to a particular protocol, there'll be a how-to video for that protocol, as well as the modules, e-training modules, and any of the teacher's guide manuals will all be in one place. Talk about resources and research and resources. We'll break that down in student research reports, educator resources, the scientific process, elementary globe, etc. All the campaigns will be here, community, and then news and events.
Yeah.
So this again.
Yeah, thank you for showing that preview. Yeah, I think we should perhaps give some room to people if they want to ask
Questions. Okay.
Yeah, if they want to, if someone wants to talk, because not everybody was using the chat, so I think some people want to ask.
Yeah, Fyodor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for the presentation, and
Sure.
Okay, so let's take a couple of questions now. And Fyodor wants to talk.
Hi, Cornell. So
hi, how are you?
So nice to see you again.
You too.
Really very lot of interesting things, and for me it's sort of revolution. So now it not should be, some people not should be the teacher to be a globe educator. So how many globe educator already exist who are not school teachers?
That's a good question.
Uh,
We know
answer,
that
please.
we know there's about
only first question.
Yeah, I mean, there's about 3,000 people that have been e-trained, we know, but as to how many are, a typical person would be the, say, somebody who leads a science museum. or a librarian who is also training people. So there's a fair number, but there's a lot more teachers, formal education teachers than informal educators.
Okay, thank you. I really, my question is because before it was the part of the globe was globe school, and inside it globe teachers and globe teachers with the team of their globe students. Now you suggest some sort of very new globe family. The people cannot be teachers in the school. So,
yeah,
and who decided? Who will be responsible? I know now to school to become a globe school. In previous rules and regulations, it was the school director should ask country coordinator to announce the school as a globe school.
Yes.
And the number of globe teachers inside the school does not permit them to become the name of globe school. Only director decided if it should be the globe school or not. How
the first step in the process that Cornell showed was approved by country coordinator. So people can apply just like they can right now. There really is no difference. Right now, anybody can fill out the application form. It gets sent to the country coordinator, and the country coordinator can determine whether or not they want to approve the person. This has the exact same process. Anybody can fill out the form. The first step is it goes to the country coordinator, and each country can make the determination as to whether or not they want to allow that organization and or educator to be a formal globe institution. We've just broadened it a bit because in the US in particular, and I imagine in some countries, there's the interest to bring in, as I said, a science center is a good example where we have, they're not a school in the traditional sense, but they are educators who are reaching out to folks doing globe activities. So it's still set up in very much the same way it is. Anybody can apply just like they can right now, but it's always up to the country coordinator to decide whether they want to accept that institution or not.
Yeah, it can depend on the capacity of the country coordinator, right? And how globe is run.
Sometimes the country coordinator does not know what is the organization where this globe educator works. It can be private, some private organization, and nobody knows what the goal of this organization is, and what rules and regulation its organization follow.
Yeah, every country coordinator has a dashboard that shows the people that are requesting accounts in their country. And you could see that now as a country coordinator. You can go to a dashboard that says how many people are requesting accounts in your country, and you have the power to say, I approve or not. And that will stay almost exactly the same. You'll see all the people that have requested, you can approve or not. So it's really no change. We've used a term that kind of broadens the scope a bit, just to allow the concept of informal educators to join Globe as well. But it's up to you as the country coordinator.
Yes, it's the same approval process. We're just adding the ability for somebody.
Now it is my responsibility to understand is it a good guy who decided to be a Globe educator or.
But again, it is really no different than the current form, where anybody can go to the form right now, fill out the form and say, I want to be a Globe teacher in your country. It's the same as it has been. So there's really no difference. Right now, anybody could go to that form and say, I want to be a Globe teacher in your country. In this case, it's exactly the same.
Okay, I would like to perhaps cut into the discussion now. I think if we have any doubts about this, like not about the technical part, but about how to do that and who does that and how coordinators should decide, I think we can open that discussion tomorrow. We have meeting just with country coordinators. Fyodor, this is for you.
Sorry.
If you have some questions on this, we can. I think it's an important question, but I think it's not about technical part.
I forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot that now we have a big community here in the room. So sorry. It's really the question for tomorrow.
Yeah. So thank you for raising that. And I think I just want to say that all these, capabilities that are at the website and that the Cornell and David and their team are bringing up, they are reacting to the development of GLOBE as such, right? So the GLOBE program is opening up to different audiences and to different communities, and the GLOBE family is very welcoming. So I think this is all done based on this ground. So any other question? We can take perhaps one or two more, and then I think we should conclude.
So I hope people find these enhancements are going to be beneficial, especially the one where student observations are associated with the student count. That was a big request. And then having a dashboard to be able to track their observations, hopefully that will be useful as well.
What I want to say that it's really wonderful that you can show us the previews and the what is the plan and what you will do, and I think perhaps more questions will come once this all will be visible and real, and people will try it out, and then they will perhaps ask you or us or help desk and how it works and where I will find it and all those questions. So
but it's important that you see it early before it's implemented, because it's harder to change once it's been done. So while we're in the planning stages, we want to get your feedback and input. So if you I can send you the links to the wireframes. That way you can look at it in more detail, and then if you have other questions, you can certainly ask us at a later time.
Sure, please feel free to do that. Yes, I'm sure there will be some volunteers from our group here to give you the feedback for those. I can see someone is already agreeing.
Yeah, Zoran, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you so much for the glimpse to the future. And thanks also for introducing the things that are already in place. And if someone has still questions for Cornell or David, please post them to the chat. They can be here with us perhaps for 5 more minutes, if it's okay for you, Cornell, David.
Glad to stay on as long as it's useful.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I think Dana will guide you through the last session.
Yeah. So thank you, Bara. So we are, we are close to the end of our virtual regional meeting, and I'd like to summarize it a little bit and speak about plans for this year, what you can participate in, or you can join in. But first, let's summarize. We did a lot of work together this week. It was a great 4 days. So on Monday, we met with country coordinators. We discussed many topics and share ideas. We will continue tomorrow with country coordinators. Then on Tuesday, we had also great presentations and discussion on GLOBE benefits the environment. On Wednesday, it was great to learn what skills are built thanks Globe, from the youngest one to the alumni, older students, and then also alumni. We met teachers, students, and alumni on Wednesday. And in the second part of Wednesday, we had a great discussion on cooperation, and I hope that some ideas for collaboration were open there, and maybe it will start during this year. And today in the first part of today, we have a really nice and amazing session. Hello, we are Globe students. So we very appreciate that students were with us, and we were invited to their schools, and we saw what are they doing, how are they doing, and so it's a great inspiration and feedback for all of us, teachers and coordinators. Yeah, and finally, thank you for this session, website updates and all these apps. That is very important, very interesting for us. Thank you, David and Cornell. And we will definitely work with it and ask questions if needed later on. Maybe during tomorrow we will receive some more questions. Yeah, so we received, I think, great inspiration from many activities, from many projects. And so I'd like to now to share my screen and show you what we are planning or what's planned for this year and what you can participate in. So we'd like to invite you to the phenology campaign. The autumn part is just on, but it's still possible to join in this campaign. Its information are available at the website, and so you can be a part of this campaign. And there are 2 webinars planned. The first one is at the end of October. We will soon give you the date. And it's a meeting with scientists. And the second webinar on December the 1st, it will be meeting of teachers and students. We will share the projects and cooperation that were done during this period. So it's a quite popular campaign. Lenka, our colleague Lenka Klager, is a really great leader of this campaign. And so try it if you are not a part of it, so you can try it even for some 1 month. It will still on. And during spring, it will be this spring phenology campaign again, and you will receive information through your country coordinators in advance, so you will be able to join if you want. Next, it's such a nice idea, and now I'd like to give a floor to Lenka, because she's the initiator of this idea of 3 reporters. So she will explain you more about it.
Thank you, Dana, and I would like to invite you to join the 3 Reporters Challenge. It will be an opportunity for those who already participate in the phenology campaign, for those who like to communicate and share, but also for anyone who just wants to spend some time outdoors and try something new with the Globe program. And in the challenge, we will invite you to take a role of reporters, go outside and interview any tree that you like or you find interesting. And you can choose 2 forms how to do the interview, either to prepare a video interview for a tree TV, or to create a tree poster about your findings about the tree. And this challenge will be launched in a few days, now in October, and it will run through the next month, and the results will be highlighted at the last Phenology campaign webinar. So you will learn more from your country coordinators at the Globe website and of course through the Phenology campaign channels. So I look forward to meeting you in the challenge and give the word back to Dana.
Yeah, thank you. So next campaign, it's a Trees Around the Globe campaign. Maybe you know that this campaign was extended to September 2022. It's led by Brian Campbell. I'm not sure if he's with us now. He was during other days. But you can check the website and read more information. There is a webinar planned for October, very interesting topic, so you can join this webinar. And also we would like to cooperate with Phenology campaign with this Trees Around the Globe campaign and combine it. So it's another possibility where you can join and participate. Next, I mentioned it today after the student presentations. The International Virtual Science Symposium is open now. The projects will be accepted from the January the 1st. And the topic is engineering solutions for a changing climate. And yesterday there was the first webinar, and it was recorded, so you can hear the recordings. And it's very clear, step by step. You will find the information there, and we encourage you and your students to upload your great results of your research projects there. It's a nice opportunity to share it with wider Globe community. Then Water Bodies Challenge. Today you can see one video that was sent us or submitted from North Macedonia. So we'd like this topic of water. We think that it's very important, and we'd like to highlight it again. We will work more with this in spring, and you will receive more information again in advance, but only to let you know that water will be one of the topics that we want to highlight. And then collaboration. Yesterday there was a session about collaboration. There are some collaborations on topics on air quality or microplastics. Also, some people prepare some collaboration on the topic of water. But so let's start your own collaboration. Maybe, or we hope that you met new friends here online, or you can try to find new Globe schools, and you can choose your topic, what is quite important for you, and you can start your own collaboration. And it depends on you if it is collaboration inside your country with several schools, or if it is from schools from another country. So let's think about it and try to start some kind of collaboration. And next, during these days, you can see some videos of the student vloggers, Globe student vloggers. So there is a link where you can follow the Globe students. They upload new videos there. So you can go there, and it's a really refreshing to see these young students, young people, how they are working with Globe, how they are thinking. So we can recommend you to work with this also with your students. Yeah, and yeah, this is our last invitation to the next regional meeting of Europe and Eurasia. We hope that it will be possible to organize it in person, and yeah, we'd love to do it in cooperation with Croatia, with the Globe School in Omiš, and with country coordinators, with Jána Garasic and Sania Klubička. So if you are on now, Diana or Sania, can you add some words about?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Hello. We are looking forward very much to the next meeting in person. And as we were planning for the last year, I think that we have half of the organization already done. Our school from Omiš is very good, very eager to host this meeting, and just let's hope that it will be possible.
Yeah, thank you, Diana. Thank you for your invitation to your country and to this beautiful path to Omiš town and Globe School. Yeah, everybody is looking forward to travel there. So let's see. Yeah, so that's it from our plans. Also, if you want to ask something to this, what we planned, just put it to the chat, or you can unmute and speak.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, Ramona.
It's nice to see all these activities planned. We have a collaboration with Ireland on air quality, but I really like the idea about the interview at RE. It's very original and creative. So well done. I like it.
Thank you, Ramona. So anybody else with any comments?
I just want to say that if you have some questions later on, perhaps, because it was too many things during today and yesterday,
Yeah.
you can always contact us by email.
Okay.
So it's okay not to have questions sometimes.
Okay, so thank you, Bara, for this comment. So I'd like to thank you all for your active participation during these days. I think we had a really fantastic audience. This was a second regional meeting that was organized online. And as we mentioned at the beginning, we saw it as an opportunity to meet with the broader Globe community that would perhaps never be able to attend the regular meeting in person. And we had almost 240 people registered. And the people were from 31 countries connected this week, from our region and also from outside as well. So it's a really big group of Globe people interested in doing things together. And I hope that you enjoy the meeting. We feel good energy, we call it Globe energy, that usually we have at the in-person meetings. And it can't happen without your active participation, without your presentations, videos, comments, discussions. So big thank and big really applause to all of you for your activity during afternoons. It's not so easy to be so active during afternoons and especially online. And I'd like to give a special thanks to the Director of Globe Implementation Office, Dr. Tony Murphy, and International Coordinator, Ms. Lynn Wigbels, who joined us not only today, but for all 4 days. And they were very helpful in many discussions or feedback and answering questions. So it's really nice to be together. And also my big thank belongs to Ms. Alison Leitner, Program Manager for Education and Communication in NASA, to join us with her presentation on Tuesday. It was also great to hear her presentation. Yeah, and so my great thanks to go to all speakers. It was coordinators, teachers, scientists, students, alumni. So congratulations and thank you. And also to all who submitted the videos. Videos a nice part of the meeting. And my next thanks go to Board of Europe and Eurasia for their help and also involvement during the meeting. So I think and I hope that you had a chance to meet not only old friends, it's always nice to see old friends, but also you had chance to find new friends or new people for cooperation, for exchanging ideas, and also you receive some new ideas for next year's or next period. We will share all the presentations and all the videos with you. We will put it at the webpage, send you a link when it is ready, so you can share it. You can go through again if you want, and you can share it also with teachers or another part of local community that were not able to participate. So it will be available for you there. So thank you once more for your active participation, special energy and enthusiasm that all together form the Globe family. And it's really nice to be part of this family. So thank you. And I hope we will meet online during the year or in person. It depends what will be possible. And we have a last video that would like to show you now. So I'd like to ask Lenka to introduce this video and put it on the screen.
Okay, thank you, Dana. So to end this meeting, we have for you, I think, really beautiful video with a beautiful message. It's a third episode of the series Globe Agents of Change, which was directed by Globe Implementation Office. And this time it will take us to the North America. And we have seen other two episodes earlier during the meeting. So in case that you missed them or you would like to see any of the episodes again, you can always go to the YouTube channel of Globe Implementation Office and to watch any of them. So yeah, and enjoy the video. Mm-hmm. It was a great pleasure to spending the last days with you. It was very nice for me, and take care, everyone.
I know quite a few people on my reservation that have asthma.
Okay, that's east. That's north.
The air was a huge problem. The dust, the smoke.
We are experiencing weather conditions the likes of which we've never experienced in our lifetime.
Crews working around the clock to get a handle on some of the largest fires in state history.
The fires also creating thick smoke, so hazardous, it's like smoking 400 cigarettes a day.
Good. Okay, so that's how you send your pictures to Globe Observer. So are we looking at the air coming from up here into the sensor, or do we need it to be taller where we can get more air from the surrounding? That's the thing that you ladies going to have to figure out. Do we want it to be this?
This project that we're working on is working with air sensors. We plant them wherever and we figure out if the air is good enough for people with breathing problems. The air will flow into here. Here are the sensors. I feel like this could help my reservation, people with respiratory, breathing problems, asthma, and of course my elders.
So once you put this in the ground, my question is, will anybody have the capability of knowing what the air quality is in Mescalero?
Yes, they could.
This little box is what Shiloh and Cadence will be using. The 3D part that's being printed, this box will mount onto it and be able to set on the tabletop. And they should be able to see all the readings on the air quality sensor. My idea of a globe teacher is a teacher that, number one, is concerned about the environment. Number two, concerned enough to allow the students to dabble into different projects and see if it's something they can connect with. Growing up, I hated school. You would have never believed that I would turn into an educator. Right there.
My favorite part about the project is coding. Actually, here in the school, they're learning how to code in the Mescalero Apache language, and I find that pretty cool.
The color of one.
We don't want our language to die out like other reservations. I know a lot of reservations don't know their language because some elders are gone that knew a lot about their language, and then the kids don't know how to learn it. So I feel like it's really important to keep our language alive.
All right, right here, I think it'll be, I like to have fun with my students. Now I want you just to hit this, not my hand. I don't have any qualms in telling my students how I grew up because some of them are facing what I faced when I was in high school. This is our map. And if you look at that gray dot there, that's Mescalero Apache School. And there's our reading. And it takes data every 10 minutes. Okay, every 10 minutes it's going to report some kind of data. But I want these kids to realize there's more to life than just living on the reservation. Somebody had to push me outside of my box, and that's what I do. I draw a box on the board, and I put dots inside the box, a whole bunch of dots, and maybe 1 or 2 dots outside. I said, which one of these are you? Are you inside the box or are you outside the box? The person outside the box got more opportunity because he or she is not confined to the inside of that box.
I see myself going to college for engineering.
I do want to go out. I do want to leave my reservation, learn new things, travel.
I want to be recognized on my reservation and around the world. That's my goal, is to succeed in front of people who thought I couldn't do it.
And I tell these kids all the time, I say, you know what? You may not see it, but I do. I see what you're capable of doing, and I'm not going to push you where I know you can't go. But if I'm pushing you, then I'm telling you, you can do this.